All these talks of the EuroLeague All-Star Weekend or All-Star Game idea, but nobody's actually ever put forward how that would look like. So I thought, okay, let me do it. What contests would we have? What players would be All-Stars? And most importantly, would EuroLeague fans, including myself, watch it? Okay, so first of all, location and date. Clearly, the European basketball schedule is already really tight, and with that FIBA window in the middle of February, it's even more cramped. So I guess the only appropriate time for that would be somewhere in the second half of December. Where? Well, I know, it's tempting to say Athens or Belgrade, but let's be honest for a second. I don't think the fans in Greece or Serbia would create the same kind of atmospheres as they do when their own team is playing. At least in the US, the All-Star Weekend is more of a family event and more for the casual fans, so I guess the components we need is a big modern arena, a big metropolitan city, and good weather. I don't know about you, but for me, Madrid seems like a perfect match. And what about the actual All-Star Weekend events? I don't think the rookie-sophomore stuff is something we keep track of in Europe. I mean, yeah, sure, we know who the rookies are usually, but sophomores, nah. And anyways, in the NBA, that game between the rookies and the sophomores is more about showcasing the young prospects. While in the EuroLeague, the rookies are usually not young prospects anymore, and if they are young, they're probably not getting any meaningful minutes, so that would be just redundant. I also think the skills challenge is the worst part of the NBA All-Star Weekend, so we can skip that too. That leaves us with 3 events: 3-point contest, dunk contest, and the All-Star Game. And you know what? All of that could fit in a single day, which also helps when considering the schedule. Okay, now the fun stuff. I would start the day with a 3-point contest because I think it's the least likely to suck, and you definitely need to start the day with a bang to convince the fans that this All-Star Weekend is worth it. My picks for this season's 3-point contest are Alec Peters, who's actually second in 3-point percentage, Marcus Howard, who's basically having a 3-point contest every game anyways, Scottie Wilbekin, who's a great scorer and his main weapon is the 3-pointer, Marco Bellinelli, lethal catch-and-shoot shooter off screens, Andreas Ops, same story as Bellinelli, Keenan Evans, who's surprisingly shooting at a good percentage, although he takes many difficult shots, Isaiah Canaan, same story as Keenan Evans, and I think you have to have a real star in there, so that's Mike James for me, with, again, difficult shots, but also making them at a high percentage. Just that one recent 3-and-1 against Partizan should be enough of an argument.
Watching. James picking it up, shot clock still ticking. Mike James fouled on the 3 as he puts it in over Kevin Punter.
That actually might be the best event of the evening. Then we move to the dunk contest, and I got 4 candidates for you. First, Wade Baldwin. I think there's a reason he's often compared to Russell Westbrook, and I would expect some explosive dunks. Second candidate, Donta Hall, who literally is on moon gravity, and I guess he would be good for those super high alley-oops or some elbow dunks. Gabriele Procida, my personal favorite dunker right now, who even pulled off a 360 dunk in game. Josh Nebo, similar story to Donta Hall, and I guess it's nice to have 2 big guys and 2 guards for some diversity. Finally, the main event of the evening, the All-Star Game between East and West. But hold on a minute, there are no conferences in the EuroLeague. How are you gonna do that? Don't worry, I gotcha. I had to start drawing the dividing line through Germany, which is kinda ironic as it's like going back to the Cold War with East and West Germany. Anyways, this is how the map would look like. East, Žalgiris, Alba, Crvena Zvezda, Partizan, Panathinaikos, Olympiakos, Fenerbahce, Efes, and Maccabi. And West with Bayern, Virtus, Olimpia Milano, AS Monaco, ASVEL, Barcelona, Real, Valencia, and Baskonia. And now let me introduce the starters and the reserves for the Eastern and Western EuroLeague All-Stars. In the East, we have Shane Larkin, Keenan Evans, Konstantinos Mitoglu, Alec Peters, and Matthias Lezort, with Kevin Punter, Nemanja Nedovic, Wade Baldwin, Kendrick Nunn, Nigel Hayes-Davis, Bonzi Colson, and Johannes Thiemann in the reserves. The Western starters would have Mike James, Facundo Campazzo, Siobhan Shields, Nikola Mirotic, and Jan Vesely, with the reserves of Chima Moneke, Serge Ibaka, Tornike Shengelia, Eddie Tavares, Janan Musa, Chris Jones, and Nicolas Laprovitola. Okay, I guess that's the end of my career as an announcer, but anyways, this is how I would vote. Also, just a simple 40-minute game with no special rules would be good enough. So now, after I painted this whole picture of the EuroLeague All-Star Weekend, would you watch it? As for me, I feel like it would be really exciting that very first time, but then as the years would go by, we would really start facing the same problem that the NBA does, which is essentially that the game has zero meaning and then the players don't care about it either, and we got a game that nobody cares about. That's why my solution would be, do it every 2, 3, or even 4 years, and then you would keep that interest in that game since it only happens every other year. Sort of like the Olympics or the FIBA tournaments now, I guess. What do you guys think? Do you think the EuroLeague needs the All-Star Weekend? If so, do you agree with the teams and the contestants that I elected, or would you have someone else instead? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video that I literally just improvised in the last few hours, and I'll see you in the next one.